So I want to go back to like your early days of starting as being an entrepreneur. Like what got you to the place where you were the sort of person who has had all these multiple exits and really successful outcomes, especially when you were young, but it just in general, like it sounds like you had a very nice, good childhood. What drove you to be this person? And like what made you, most entrepreneurs never get 8-figure exits in multiple ones. What drove you? Why do you think you're different there?
So I think of my life, in my early life at least, in two big buckets. The first part of my life was really, really all about soccer. It was kind of my passion. I started playing young. I was a very driven, motivated soccer, player like that. All of my goals and dreams were soccer related. I want to play at this level. I want to achieve these things. Like that's just how I kind of looked at life. And, thankfully, I achieved a lot of the things I wanted. I went to university in my mind, basically to play soccer. I mean, of course, I got a degree at the end of that process, but like it was all about playing soccer. It was not about, so all of a sudden, post my playing career, I played, briefly after college, and I was like, man, this is just coming to an end. There's no path for me. What am I going to do? And I was a psychology major. I had never taken a business class. I had never taken a computer science class. I had never taken an engineering class. I literally was like, I don't even know what I'm going to do. So I joined I met someone on the soccer field, a friend who was working for a startup in the like tech education space. I joined as their lowest level employee, supposedly in the marketing department, but it was like 5 people. So everybody did everything. Like every day you did something different. And I really fell in love with the energy of a startup almost immediately. And I think I liked the intellectual challenge of literally showing up, not knowing, some days I was cold calling, some days I was learning to write code, then I was taking out the trash or dealing with, problems. And I just fell in love with that. But I really was only there for a day or two, ironically, before I started feeling like the president of the company, like he didn't want to hear my ideas. He didn't have any interest in what I was thinking. Even, I'm a young, arrogant kid. I probably didn't have that much to offer. But in my mind, I didn't like the fact that he wasn't even including me, didn't ask me anything. So I, very quickly decided I want to start my own company. It took about 6 months of working there. It was my only real job before I started my first company. I convinced an engineer that worked with me to leave, resign, and we started our first internet company. And, timing is literally everything. I mean, I started an internet company right after Netscape launched the web browser in first quarter 95. So it was lucky, brilliant, not because of intelligence, brilliant timing.
Yeah, you make your own luck on the timing though part, right? You've had a few of those, so you make your own.
And I will tell you, I mean, it's funny now because it's hard to even like take yourself there, even though I was literally living it. In the mid 90s, 95, 96, like people thought the internet was a fad. Nobody trusted, nobody would put a credit card on the internet. No companies really thought they would ever do anything other than have a brochure to talk about their company. Like that was the internet, And so we were so convicted that it was going to change everything. But we were 24, 25-year-old kids sitting in boardrooms with, Fortune 500 CEOs telling them, and they were like, these dumb kids. And so in hindsight, yeah, we were lucky where timing was great. We sold that first business into a roll-up. It went public, and then I was hooked. I was like, this is, I worked really hard. I had really smart people around me that I, should get most of the credit. But at the same time, going from literally no money, living in a 1-bedroom apartment, working on my table that was secondhand. My wife and I were married in 96, and I was working in this 1-bedroom apartment, and literally within 3 years of starting the company, we sold it, and I checked off every like financial goal of my life. I mean, I wasn't even dreaming that big because I didn't grow up with anything.